All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another walk and talk video here. We are almost done with these, kind of, because we're almost back to race day coverage. Typical. Anyway, so what I want to talk about here, since we kind of got Loretta's in the rear view mirror here and we're getting back to pro racing, is I want to talk about Drew Adams today. Drew Adams is kind of like the next, we'll call it, superhero here as far as amateur motocross goes. And we got to see him in full effect here. Now, we saw him at the Combine in Redbud in person. We knew the kid was good. We've seen the kid be good here. And, you know, at Redbud, we watched him come from a absolutely horrendous start, come back and end up winning that one Combine moto there at Redbud. And now at Loretta's, we watched him basically be a man amongst boys here. As far as Loretta's goes, he ended up going 4-1-1 in one of the pro sport classes and 1-1-1 in the other one, and he was the only guy all week that could overcome a bad start in either of those classes. All the other guys, if they got a bad start, they get back into, say, a top 5 position there. But they couldn't overcome it and come all the way back to first. Now, Drew has been racing, and this brings up another point here that we've all kind of talked about here over the last several years, which are these facility kids that go and they only do, say, the big 4, the big 5 races per year. They'll do a couple Loretta's qualifiers plus Loretta's. They'll do mini O's. They'll do Mammoth. They'll maybe do Ponca. So they're only racing 6-7 times per year, maybe 8 times per year. They don't go out and do local races. They're just stuck at a facility, riding day in and day out. And now you have the Lawrence compound, essentially, which comes in and breaks that mold. The Lawrences, both the brothers and their father, Dazzy, there, have not really been shy and bashful about saying that the amateur motocross scene here is an absolute joke compared to Europe. In Europe, they have like the EMX 250 class and stuff where they race, and even down to the EMX like 65, 85s, that kind of stuff. Here, don't really have that. Okay, you've got this one race, 3 moto format thing here for a national championship. That's the big deal. And so basically, these kids don't race anymore. They go to a facility, they train all the time, and that's it. And we've kind of seen over the last several years, especially since I've started this channel, since I've started this show, that these kids come in and, you know, they're the next hot property. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. They come in, they're on these factory bikes against 2-3 other kids, 4 other kids in B class, whatever, that are on factory equipment. They're being fast tracked as being the next thing, and they dominate. Then they get into the pro class, and all of a sudden now, instead of having 2 or 3 kids who are on that factory equipment, now you've got 10, 12 kids who are on factory equipment. And holy cow, all of a sudden now you gotta compete with 10 or 12 other dudes instead of 2 or 3 other dudes. And they just get burnt up, chewed up, spit out. And it just doesn't end up working. Now with Drew Adams here, they're breaking that mold. Drew has been up in Canada racing that series. Drew raced a pro race in Canada the Sunday before Loretta's. On Monday, flew down here, some sort of weird, crazy flight schedule, got to Loretta's just in time for practice, did the practice, and then goes out and in 6 motos wins 5 out of 6, and in the other one just comes from a completely horrendous start where he was basically on the ground, and he was 40th. He was literally 40th on the first lap in that first moto. I remember watching it and them saying, oh no, where's Adams? Oh, he's 40th and however many seconds down, and comes back to 4th. And I can only accredit that to he's got racecraft. He's racing. Now, the kid is kind of screwed at this point here. From my understanding, he doesn't have a pro deal for next year. And the way I kind of thought this was going to work out was I thought he would do what we've kind of been seeing. So that would be He'd race the last 3 here. So he'd do Dilla, Buds, and Ironman, which it was just announced that he's not actually doing Dilla and Buds. He's just doing Ironman National here. And I kind of wonder if he's going to do the Ironman Combine, which I don't think he can because of racing the Pro National on Saturday, but we'll have to wait and see. But he's doing the Ironman National. He'll obviously probably be doing the 250 All-Star thing at the SMX round, I would assume. And then the way I thought it was going to go is I figured he would race, he'd do Supercross Futures next year, probably all of those. So he would get in 3, 4, 5 Supercross races there, do a full Supercross camp. And then come, whatever the first outdoor national is, I'm just going to assume it's Paula next year. Then he would go pro for that. But from my understanding now, he doesn't have a pro deal, which is crazy. And part of that problem is because pro circuit's technically full right now. And I keep air quoting it because we all know pro circuit's deal, like they end up with like a 5 or 6 man team, and 4 of them get hurt. I mean, look at it right now. Right now we have the only main person on there who is actually signed to the team is Kitchen. And then we've got Master Pool riding, who's a fill-in guy who also is kind of getting dicks because he should get signed. He's won a race for Pro Circuit. But of course he's got kind of like Supercross results of the few Supercross results he has. And then he, oh no, it's a baby deer. It's 2 baby deer. Your mom's that way. No, go that way. I'm going to back up. I'm going to back up. No, go that way. Go be with your mom. Don't get hit by a car. Look at the baby deer. They're going to cross the road here. There they are. Baby deer. Hi, baby deer. Yeah, go be with your mom. Go. She went that way. Go. Goodbye. See ya. Okay, we'll walk this way. Anyway, yeah, so basically, Drew's kind of getting screwed right now. I don't really know where he goes. To be honest, this is one of those times that probably, this is one of those times where Star Yamaha swoops in, signs another dude, because Star is smart enough to know that 85% of the dudes are going to get hurt more than likely. So let's just have 15 people on payroll, because then that way we can at least put the 5 or 6 bikes we want to. Will they do that? Who knows? If they do, gosh, you just kind of got to look at Kawasaki and Pro Circuit and be like, what are you really doing? I did watch a Cooksey video the other day talking about this too, and I agree with him with what he said of like, you got to look at teams like the Mad Parts and the HBI Racing and be like, Kawasaki, why are you not putting money into it and kind of having them be the kind of reserve team for guys like this, where you can give them budget, put some salary behind them there, to basically keep a guy like this on the brand, where, okay, your main team, your Pro Circuit team is full, but you can put a guy like this on the HBI team, on the Mad Parts team, and then you essentially have an on deck, a bullpen of dudes who like, okay, cool, now you get 2-3 guys hurt off of Pro Circuit, great, send them up to Pro Circuit now off the HBI team, because you're also supporting HBI, and this is the way it works. I think Yamaha would be very, very primed to do this with Club MX. They come in, they say, hey, here's your deal. We're gonna, essentially give you guys X amount of this stuff, which I know Yamaha supports Club MX or whatever. This is where there's building blocks that it's like, this is how the sport should be kind of running right this second, especially with these OEMs and these factories doing things, and there's levels to this, and there's steps to this, and a fair majority of the infrastructure is there. We just need these OEMs to kind of see this and realize this and go, okay, cool, this would work better if we did it this way, instead of throwing 100% of our money in a team over here, aka 100% of our money into Pro Circuit, 100% into into Club MX, or I'm sorry, into Star Racing. Like, okay, cool, let's have those be the full factory teams, and they get 90% of the budget, 90%. But then we take that other 10% and we give it to these teams, and we help these teams, and we work the deal with these teams saying, hey, this is the deal. You sign these guys, you keep this bullpen of riders in shape, and they can go racing, and they got their expenses covered, and they're getting a little bit of salary, and they're getting a bonus program where, hey, if you guys develop the bike, we're not necessarily giving you all these factory parts or anything, but if you develop the bike or whatever and your guys do well, cool, well then here's a bonus program or whatever. I mean, there's things like this that would help in instances like this, because the thing is, again, I don't know the full deal here as far as the pro contract goes with Adams. I'm not fully privy to that information. I'm doing some digging. I've got some text out at this point. But to lose a guy like that, and the most recent we've seen this would be a Rider D, okay? Rider D comes up through the ranks, rides Team Green Kawasaki. He is just the man, essentially, when it comes to amateurs. And then they completely foobar his pro contract. And instead of keeping him in the Kawasaki orbit, he gets signed away to Gas, and now he's on Austrian brands, okay? And now I know there's the whole thing going on with Gas and Husky and what's going to happen there in the KTM group and that whole thing going on there. But he's now out of Kawasaki, okay? He's out. He's not in that orbit anymore. And apparently you're full, so like, what are you gonna, I don't know. Basically, here's the thing. Drew Adams is breaking the mold of this whole go to a facility and just pound motos and pound motos and pound motos. Is he at a facility? Yes, he is at a facility. He's at the Dog Pound. He's with the Lawrences. He's Dan Truman's new prodigy. But is he racing? Yeah, he's racing. He's racing Canadian Nationals. I don't know how he's doing in the Canadian Nationals. I know he's doing well. I know he's won. I know he's doing really well. I'd have to go look it up. And again, here I am on stats. Look, I got the stat of his moto scores from Loretta's. But, man, this is where I just scratch my head with things. Because if he falls off Kawasaki's radar here, and I believe this is a kid that could be really good. Is he the next, Jet Lawrence danger zone kid? I don't know. But he's real good right now. We'll see come Ironman. My prediction for Ironman with him, and we'll talk about this on the main shows here as we go. Top 10. I'm going to go with a top 10 there in both motos and top 10 overall. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. Comment below your thoughts on Drew Adams. I think he's going to do really, really well here in pros. I don't know where he lands as far as an actual pro ride at this point. We'll see. Does he stay on a green bike? Does he move to a blue bike? Is he out of those realms completely? I don't know. But comment down below what you think. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We will be doing a Unadilla reaction show just like this. Because like I said, I will be on a camping trip. But part of the deal with doing the family stuff, the family does know. And I love my family and I appreciate them. But there just is, there's certain things, and we're trying to build this up so they know that dad has to do certain stuff, and I do it at a very, at the level I can. And I appreciate my family supporting me, especially my loving girlfriend there, supporting me with knowing that, hey, we got to do the show. We got to do this stuff. It keeps the money and the funding coming in here, which allows her to do things that she wants to do also. So I thank them for that. Like I said, we'll have a reaction show here after Unadilla. We'll have the main show on Tuesday. Make sure to check out the members area here, and you can watch